Just can't get enough of trucks? Check us out online at truckstv.com.
Every once in a while, somebody comes along who is so good at doing one thing that they end up becoming an American icon. The Colonel was like that with his chicken. And in the automotive world, a prime example of that is Currie Enterprises, legendary rear ends, specifically the Ford 9-inch. But why? Why are they so good? What's their secret recipe? Well, to learn the answer to that, we've got to go back in time, way back. Late 1940s, a young hot rodder named Frank Currie. Now, Frank was into everything. Cars, trucks, airplanes, even motorcycles, but especially hot rods.
My brother had a Model A Roadster, and he went into service, and I inherited this Model A Roadster, you know. It was a pile of junk, you know. I was from a poor family. We didn't have any money.
At 21, he joined the Air Force and became an aircraft mechanic. But things really took off when he left the service.
I went to work for a company in Anaheim named Taylor Dunn, and they built electric chicken feed carts. They were little carts that they feed chickens years ago with. So, you know, it's like 2.5 feet wide and about 4 feet long. It has a bin on it, and it had a Ford rear end in it, and it had little electric motor batteries, and you drive it down to the rows of chickens, and you feed the chickens. And I went to work there as a machinist, machining parts for these electric feed carts.
Now, the owner was buying the rear ends in wrecking yards, so Frank found a way to help the owner and himself.
So I made a deal with Mr. Taylor, the owner of the Taylor shop, that I would go out and buy these rear ends on the weekend. And I would buy an old Ford rim for $5, sell him for $15. So that's how Currie Enterprises started.
As Frank's business began to grow, so did his family, as he and wife Evelyn eventually gave birth to 4 sons, all of which became part of the family business as they got old enough.
All my sons started work for me when they were about probably 12 years old, maybe even a little bit earlier than that.
When I was 11 years old, you know, I wasn't big enough and strong enough to disassemble a rear end yet, but I started in the machine shop. I started running a gear hob as the first thing, drill press and a gear hob.
This is how it's working. My dad's paying us piecework, you know. We're making sprockets and we're machining down axles, and he's got it figured out that if we go out there and really break our butts, we might make, you know, $7 or $8 an hour, but we can't even take a break, you know. He's got us paying 25 cents for each part we machine, and a nickel for doing this, and 10 cents for doing that, and we're not on the clock, and that's, you know, I think that's what taught us how to work.
They all like motorcycles. They love motorcycles, and they're always wanting new motors. Well, you know, I just don't give you a motor. You got to work for this stuff, and so this motivated them to work. My sons are all hard workers.
My dad didn't make me work, but you know, if I wanted to race with my brothers, then I had to work and earn the same money they did.
As the boys grew up, they not only learned how to drive buggies, ride bikes, shoot guns, all the cool stuff, Frank also taught them how to have success in business.
Quality is what I strive for, and take care of the customer. Treat the customer as your friend, because he is your friend, and we want him to come back. And I've done that all my life, and I pound that into every one of my sons' heads, I think. I think it's there. I think we all really believe that.
And all that pounding paid off.
When we first got into this, there wasn't anybody out there offering a complete rear end. You can buy components from 3 or 4 different companies. You could buy the axles here, you could buy the ring and pinion here, but nobody actually put it together and gave you an assembly. And that was, I think, for Currie Enterprises, one of its main things.
And the 9-inch Ford, because of its strength and versatility, became the high-performance axle of choice.
Same things that make it good for a race car today made it good for the industrial vehicles at that time. Had a steel housing, had a removable carrier, so if they had a problem in the field with the car, they didn't have to send out a gear technician to set up the gears. They could send out a complete third-member assembly and change the gears in the field. And it, you know, it's easy to work on, easy to fabricate, and basically they lasted forever.
However, a lot of guys, especially in the off-road world, were using Dana-style axles. So Currie stepped up to that and beyond.
We make a lot of hybrid stuff. We'll take the best from every rear end and put it into one rear end. Instead of saying, well, if you buy a Dana 60, you got to use Dana 60 knuckles. No. You could put the 9-inch Ford and put Dana 60 knuckles on it. We'll build it any way you want to build it.
However, with all the good times and bad, one question still remains. How can a family of rough and tumble guys all work together and not kill one another? It's called respect. Respect for the father.
I'd say the biggest influence being my father, yeah, no question.
My biggest influence would have to be my father, because I've been around him so much. And he's everything you'd want to be. He's worked hard all his life, but now he's done working. He builds cars every day.
I would hope, just like my dad, that I think my legacy is my kids. Hopefully I have instilled a lot of these same values that my dad instilled in me into my two kids.
Respect for the sons.
I don't know how to explain it. My sons are probably my best friends. They always have been, they probably always will be.
And respect for each other and the customer.
Whenever people ask me, well, how does your family business work when so many others don't? And I think because we've always been a team and we've always worked together, that we basically don't know any other way to do it.
So I guess that Frank, as far as icons go, has surpassed even the Colonel, because he didn't just do one thing right, rear ends. He did 4 other things: Chuck, John, Ray, and Andy. And for that, the whole automotive aftermarket thanks you. We'll be right back.